Christmas issues an invitation to us all, an invitation to leave the facts behind and embark on a flight of fancy. You and I know often all too well the world as it was and the world as it is. Christmas lights our way, if only for a season, to the world as it might be. The guiding star illuminates a world of possibility. For children, Christmas is an invitation to imagine what Santa might bring if they've been especially good. For believers in the Christ, Christmas is an invitation to imagine how the world might be transformed if God's gift to humanity redeems human wickedness. For the rest of us, Christmas issues an invitation to imagine what might be possible in our lives and in the world we live in. As I like to say, Christmas puts me into a subjunctive mood. Like people, verbs have moods that determine how they behave. In English, verbs have three main moods: indicative, imperative, and subjunctive. A verb in the indicative mood makes a simple statement. The butterfly has lovely wings. Or asks a simple question. Where will the butterfly land? A verb in the imperative mood issues a command. Look at the butterfly. A verb in the subjunctive mood expresses a wish or hope or desire or possibility. If I were a butterfly, I would have wings. We celebrate Christmas in the subjunctive mood. This festive season doesn't urge us to make factual statements about the present or ask probing questions about the past. Christmas invites us to entertain the child of hope, the herald of possibility, the angel of desire. Here's the Christmas question. What is your wish? In our usual lives, it's easy for the subjunctive mood to go missing. Christmas is when we get it back. In her poem titled The Return of the Subjunctive, the contemporary American poet Tamara Madison writes, "Oh, the subjunctive, may it make its bold return. May it ride back proud in liveried coach. May its two fine horses snort and paw the ground. And, escorted by its staunch attendants, if and whether, may it descend in velvet cloak and black-gloved hand the lacquered steps of hope and happenstance. May it light again the land between the world that was and is, and that which still might be. And may we tread again desire's leaf-dappled path of possibility." As Christmas approaches, it's time for the subjunctive to come riding back proud, escorted by its attendants, if and whether. The subjunctive comes to us, the poet says, upon the lacquered steps of hope, to light for us the path between the world that was and is, and the world that still might be. As we follow the lead of the subjunctive, walking in the footsteps of if and whether, we'll tread once again upon desire's leaf-dappled path of possibility. What is your Christmas wish? Simply put, the subjunctive makes the future possible because it enables us to imagine a future that is different from the present. It gives us the freedom to use words like if and whether, could and would, might and may. The main use of the subjunctive mood in English comes when we use the word if, which introduces conditional clauses. If I were a butterfly, I would have wings. It turns out that the development of the conditional clause may have been a major turning point in human history. In his Pulitzer Prize-winning book, Guns, Germs, and Steel, The Fates of Human Societies, Jared Diamond describes the evolution of humans and our ancestors over the past several million years. For most of this time, Diamond observes, not much happened. And what did happen happened very slowly. There were no major innovations until relatively recently. The tools our ancestors used 1 million years ago, for example, differ little from the tools they used 100,000 years ago. But beginning about 50,000 years ago, give or take a few thousand years, something remarkable happened, which is why in a mere 2,500 generations, the population of the planet exploded from a few thousand humans to nearly 7 billion. What happened? Diamond calls it the Great Leap Forward, a sea change in human capability and behavior. Over a relatively short period of time, people developed finely crafted tools made of bone and other materials. These allowed the development of deadlier weapons for hunting. Armed with these weapons, men began to hunt in groups. Art began to appear, clear evidence that our ancestors had become capable of abstract, contemplative thought. What caused this great leap forward? Diamond and other experts suggest various explanations. A change in brain organization, the perfection of the voice box, a favorable mutation in a language gene. In his book, Ancestors, Richard Dawkins proposes that the Great Leap Forward might have come from a leap forward in language itself, such as, he says, the development of the conditional clause and the subjunctive mood, the ability to move from talking about what is to talking about what could be or what might be. Until then, humans lived in the indicative mood. This rock, that water hole, this fire, that stick. The subjunctive mood enabled them to think about, and thus talk about, what could be or might be. Even though there's no water hole on this side of the mountain, there might be one on the other side. What if we would drive the antelope over the cliff to kill them? Would that work? What if we would sharpen a bone and lash it to a stick? Could we use that to defend ourselves? Once the possibilities began to flow, they came in a rush. What if we would do this? What if we would do that? Regardless of the exact role in human history, the ability to live in the subjunctive mood and deploy the conditional clause accelerated the Great Leap Forward. Christmas invites us to do the same, to live in the subjunctive mood, and deploy the conditional clause. The past has passed, and the present is precisely what it is. No matter. History is not destiny, especially at Christmas. What child of hope beckons to you? What herald of possibility resounds in your ears? What angel of desire sparks your imagination? What great leap forward do you want to make? It might involve your work or your primary relationship, or how you spend your money or with whom you spend your time. It might involve your children or your parents, or to whom you give your best energies, or to what you make your most enduring commitments. Christmas invites us as individuals to live in the subjunctive mood. It invites us as a congregation to do the same. Many of you were here last Sunday for my sermon titled The Character Code, in which I spoke about sex trafficking, prostitution, and pornography. The number of emails, notes, and phone calls I have received in response to that sermon has been unprecedented in my 18 years at All Souls. Some of you shared your own experience of being brutalized, while others expressed shock and outrage at the scope of the problem. And still others offered suggestions on how we could combat this modern-day slave trade. All of us hope for a great leap forward. What if the women among us and around us didn't need to fear sexual violence?